Welcome to the Deep Quiet. The title of this video speaks of a trillion-star galaxy barreling toward us. While this is mathematically true, there is no need for fear. We are speaking of the Andromeda galaxy. Its approach is not a violent event. It is a slow, majestic, and entirely peaceful cosmic dance. Let us look at the quiet reality of this long journey. Close your eyes and rest. Our home, the Milky Way, is a vast spiral of gas, dust, and billions of stars. It is a quiet island in the immense, cold ocean of the universe, but we are not entirely alone. We are part of a small gathering of galaxies known as the Local Group. Our largest neighbor in this group is Andromeda. It is a spiral galaxy, very much like our own, though slightly larger and more massive. Andromeda sits at an unimaginable distance from us. It is currently 2.5 million light-years away. To understand this distance, consider that light is the fastest thing in the universe. Even traveling at 186,000 miles per second, light from Andromeda takes 2.5 million years to reach our eyes. We see it not as it is, but as it was long ago. Despite this immense gap, our two galaxies are connected. They are bound together by gravity. Gravity is a very weak force over such vast distances, but it is infinitely patient. Over billions of years, it has been pulling the Milky Way and Andromeda toward one another. They are currently drifting closer at a speed of about 250,000 miles per hour. On a human scale, that speed sounds incredibly fast. But on a cosmic scale, across millions of light years, it is a barely perceptible crawl. If you look up at the night sky tonight, Andromeda is just a faint, fuzzy smudge in the darkness. It has looked exactly like that for all of human history. The change is so slow that our brief lives cannot register it. The slow approach. Let us imagine time speeding up. Let us step outside of human constraints and watch the sky change over billions of years. Imagine a billion years passing in the blink of an eye. The night sky is still familiar, but the faint smudge of Andromeda has grown. It is no longer just a dim star-like object. It is now a distinct, glowing oval of light in the quiet dark. Another billion years pass in absolute silence. The Earth has changed, the continents have shifted, and the sun has grown slightly warmer. But the most profound change is above. Andromeda now stretches across a noticeable portion of the sky. Its spiral arms are becoming faintly visible. The glow of its trillion stars casts a very gentle, pale light onto the night side of Earth. 3 billion years from now, the view is staggering. Andromeda dominates the night. It is a massive, tilted pinwheel of light, as wide as a dozen full moons. The glowing core of the galaxy is a brilliant, steady beacon. The dust lanes between its spiral arms are clearly visible as dark, quiet rivers running through the starlight. It is a breathtaking, completely silent spectacle. As the galaxies draw closer, an invisible interaction begins. Both the Milky Way and Andromeda are surrounded by massive, invisible halos of dark matter. These halos are vast, stretching far beyond the visible stars. Long before the stars themselves get close, these quiet, unseen halos begin to touch and merge. They interact purely through gravity, a ghost-like embrace in the dark. This interaction is the true beginning of the merger. But there is no sound, there is no shaking. It is a purely mathematical exchange of momentum and energy. The immense gravitational pull of Andromeda begins to gently tug at the outermost stars of the Milky Way. Slowly, very slowly, the outer edges of our spiral disk begin to warp and stretch toward the approaching giant. The first pass, 4 billion years from now. The distance has closed. The two galaxies are upon one another. The term used by astronomers is a collision, but that word implies a crash. It implies destruction and noise. The reality is profoundly different. The space between individual stars is so unimaginably vast that actual physical collisions between them are practically impossible. If you were to shrink the sun down to the size of a single grain of sand, the nearest star would be another grain of sand over 4 miles away. Between them is nothing but empty, silent space. Therefore, when these two massive galaxies meet, they do not crash. They simply slide right through one another, like two clouds of smoke mingling in a quiet room. As they pass through each other, the gravitational forces become complex. The gravity of 1 trillion passing stars pulls on the gas and dust of the Milky Way. This pulling compresses the cold molecular clouds. As we learned before, compressing these clouds sparks the birth of new stars. The sky becomes dotted with brilliant, blue points of light. It is a quiet bloom of new life. From the surface of a planet, the sky during this first pass would be chaotic and magnificent. The familiar band of the Milky Way is disrupted. Huge streams of stars, pulled out of their orbits by gravity, arc across the blackness. These are called tidal tails. They are long, graceful ribbons of starlight, slowly drawn out into the intergalactic void. This first encounter takes hundreds of millions of years to unfold. The galaxies pass through each other and continue moving outward, carried by their immense momentum. But their gravity has acted as a brake. They cannot escape each other anymore. They drift apart, but slower than before, connected by invisible bands of gravitational attraction. They are bound. The long arc, having passed through each other, Andromeda and the Milky Way drift apart for millions of years. They stretch out into the dark, trailing long tails of stars behind them. From Earth, if the sun was still there to illuminate it, the sky would look completely fractured. The two glowing cores are separating, but they are connected by a faint, ghostly bridge of scattered light. Eventually, their outward momentum is exhausted. Gravity gently pulls them to a halt. For a brief, silent epoch, they hang suspended in the deep dark, millions of light years across. Then, the inevitable return begins. They start to fall back toward each other for a second pass. This cosmic dance is slow, deliberate, and governed entirely by the calm laws of physics. 5 billion years from now, they slide through each other a second time. Again, the stars themselves do not collide. The vast distances protect them. They pass like ships in the night, separated by immense oceans of vacuum. But this time, their momentum is significantly reduced. The gravitational friction has slowed them down. The dance is drawing to a close. The two massive central black holes, one from each galaxy, begin to sink toward the new center of mass. They drag billions of stars with them. The original spiral structures of both the Milky Way and Andromeda are completely destroyed. The beautiful, orderly arms are gone. The gas and dust have been violently churned, though the process itself remains completely soundless. The sky is a brilliant, unstructured glow. The stars are moving in randomized, chaotic orbits. There is no longer a distinct disk to look through. We are inside a swarm of starlight. The two galactic cores slowly spiral closer and closer to one another, preparing for their final, quiet unification. The long journey is finally reaching its permanent conclusion. The final merger. 6 billion years from now, the merger is complete. The Milky Way and Andromeda no longer exist as separate entities. They have become a single, massive galaxy. Astronomers sometimes call this future galaxy Milkomeda. The two central black holes have spiraled together and merged into an even larger, silent singularity at the very heart of this new system. Milkomeda is not a spiral galaxy. The graceful arms are permanently gone. It is an elliptical galaxy. It is a massive, featureless sphere of stars, glowing softly in the dark. The orbits of the stars are no longer flat and orderly. They buzz around the central core like bees in a hive, moving in all directions. It is a stable, quiet structure. The sky from any planet within Milkomeda is very different from our own. There is no milky band of light across the night. Instead, the sky is a uniform, blindingly bright dome of stars. The center of the new galaxy glows with the light of hundreds of billions of ancient suns. The sheer volume of starlight would make the night sky significantly brighter than it is today. But this new galaxy is also a quiet one. The collision process used up or scattered most of the cold gas and dust. Without those molecular clouds, there is very little material left to form new stars. The era of vibrant, blue star birth is over. Milky is populated primarily by older, redder stars. It is a calm, aging galaxy, settling into a long retirement. The trillion stars of Andromeda and the billions of stars from the Milky Way have found a new equilibrium. The violent gravitational pulling has ceased. The tidal tails have faded into the background. The new elliptical galaxy simply sits in the deep space of the local group, radiating its steady, red light into the endless vacuum. The grand dance is over. The deep future. As billions more years pass, Milky slowly ages. The large, bright stars burn out quickly, leaving behind quiet white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. The smaller, red dwarf stars continue to burn their fuel very slowly, providing a faint, steady glow. The galaxy becomes dimmer and redder as time stretches onward into the deep, unimaginable future. The expansion of the universe continues to push all other distant galaxies further away. Eventually, they will cross the cosmological horizon. Their light will no longer reach us. The sky outside of Milky will become completely black. The local group will be the only thing visible in the entire universe. It will be a singular, lonely island of light in a true void. But within that island, there is stability. The stars of Milky will orbit the central core for trillions of years. The planets that survive the merger will continue to circle their fading suns. The physical laws of gravity and momentum will remain constant and unbroken. The universe is not a place of sudden destruction, but of incredibly slow, persistent change. The approach of Andromeda is not a horror story. It is a beautiful, natural consequence of gravity. It is a reminder that we are part of a system that is vastly older and larger than ourselves. The stars are not fixed, and the galaxies are not stationary. Everything is moving, everything is flowing, and everything is participating in the long, quiet life of the cosmos. As you lie in the dark tonight, think of Andromeda. Think of that faint, fuzzy smudge of light, millions of light years away. It is drifting toward us right now, across the silent ocean of space. It will arrive billions of years after we are gone, bringing a trillion new stars to our sky. It is a peaceful, inevitable reality. Let that slow, cosmic certainty calm your mind. Sleep well.